So I sent you all this timeline, and it's there up on the screen if you're on via computer. So I'd like to go through the timeline, and then we'll go through the project proposal, and then time for any questions that you might have, and to talk a little bit about your capstone ideas. So three main things. So let's just take a look at the timeline, and you'll see the very first thing there says Lesson 5, and it says completed. And you may say, wait a minute, maybe I haven't done Lesson 5. Actually, Lesson 5 was earlier known as Assignment 1. Okay, remember that? You all had to send it to me via email because the platform wasn't up and running yet?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, remember that? Okay, so you covered everything in Lesson 5, really that very first assignment.
Okay.
All right, so that's completed. Both of you have completed Lesson 2 and gotten those assignments in. And Lesson 3 you've completed. Mm-hmm. So right now, due yesterday, Lesson 4 and then Lesson 1. So now you will go back into the platform and pull up all of the things under Lesson 1.
Deborah, this is Honor. Would it be helpful if I went to the Learning Management platform so we could see those?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that'd be good for me.
I'll have to redo Lesson 1. I just reattached Lesson 1 like we did on like 3, so I'll have to go redo that one.
Right, I saw that, Jennifer. I looked today.
I'm sorry.
No, at the time, that's what you needed to do, or that was all we knew to do.
Right. So I'll go back and redo that one in here tonight. So
yeah. So you will go back into Lesson 1. Honor, if you'll just click on Lesson 1 and maybe pull down those. There you go. Okay, so there's an intro, there's an outline, an overview, a good little video there. Now, you may have already looked at these. We had a little kind of a little rocky start with knowing what to do at the very beginning.
And then, just so you know, I did get the reflection right here, this reflection thing corrected. And I was going to send out a notice tomorrow on that. Right now, when you click on Write Reflection Activity, it comes up with this little box, and you type that in and you submit response. The problem with that is that our advisors can't pick up the materials. So I've asked our learning management system to move that reflection activity under the assignments area where all the other, they did it. Okay. So
good.
Yeah, I uploaded the wrong thing.
Yeah, then you can submit your Word document, and then Deborah doesn't have any problem finding it when she looks for it. Okay.
So all reflections need to be submitted under assignments.
Under assignments, yeah. Well, and I think there's also another thing under assignments. I think there's a Lesson 6 PowerPoint presentation, but otherwise they're all reflection activities. So
okay, great.
Just thought I'd
Yeah, Honor, I'm glad you got that worked out, because that was a little snafu there. So get in there and get Lesson 1 done. There's not a lot of reading, and those videos are very. I enjoyed them a lot, so it shouldn't take you too long. That reflection activity, you did a little bit of it already when you. In your other assignment, where you talked a little bit about your current school situation, that kind of thing, and so you might do a little bit of cutting and pasting. I'm thinking the main thing here is really, again, looking at some problems, maybe going ahead and articulating any problems that are impacting your school right now.
Okay.
Okay, and so then also Lesson 4, if you want to pop down, Honor, and we'll look at Lesson 4. Again, got some here's the outline.
Here's the overview. I think it's a little video, right?
Yeah.
And then,
so here's an activity using a graphic organizer, Think, Ink, Pair, Share. I think we've all heard of Think, Pair, Share, but this was shared with us, and it's just adding a little, ink writing, doing some getting your thoughts down on paper. So you'll complete that. It's really brief there. And then you will put this onto, and you'll do this on the discussion thread.
Yeah, let me get to that. Sorry, zoom down here.
So instead of going to assignments, you'll go to discussion. And you have to scroll down. We're actually on the second page.
Here's the assignment, the thinking there, part 1 discussion, and then part 2 task. So,
so we're cohort 6. So you would click on lesson 4, cohort 6, and you'll see, Jennifer, you actually got yours in. I haven't had a chance to. Oh, yes, I did. I did look at yours. I gave you a reply.
For more to attach so I could reply to them, because I think we got to reply to like 2, isn't it?
Right. And then it does ask you to to respond back to others in the group. So, yeah, we need to get a few more people on there so you can have some discussion. So going back to the following on down through the lesson. So you do this think, pair, share, and then the next thing in lesson 4 are 3 really good readings, and again, not very long. They're pretty long documents, but you're only reading there. The first one, pages 1 through 4, the next one, pages 4 through 17, and then 3 through 10. So once you've done the reading, then you have one other participation within the discussion thread.
Let me go back.
And this, you're asked to go and write that a 1 to 2 page description of yourself as an effective leader. Include a vision of your future in at least 5 years, as well as 5 practices that you will use to impact positive outcomes. And I think in the readings you will get some food for thought there. It talks about effective practices, and so.
We said upload and submit that. I never saw anything to
submit. This is not, it's actually in the discussion board.
Right.
And 6. Yeah. So you're still in the discussion board. It's not really an assignment. So you're actually going to be inputting that into.
And if you could group it like part 1, part 2, then we will know. Like Jennifer, your lesson 4, you might have that as what. That's the thinking pair one. You'd say part 1.
Yeah, this is the 2 to 3 sentence of the think, pair, share. Yeah.
Right. And so right now, actually. Angela, I'm going to prompt her to actually do part 2. See, she's done this part, but she hasn't done the other second part of it.
Okay. So you've got assignment boards and you've got a discussion thread. So just remember to put your stuff in cohort 6.
Mm-hmm. That's the main thing, to put it in cohort 6.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, part 1, part 2. Okay, so if you can get on the stick tonight, I'll give you a little push there and get those done. Then you
want to go back to, where was it?
The timeline, yeah. Okay, so there we are, lesson 1, lesson 4, lesson 1 said they were technically due last Friday, and then I had, in my email, I said, okay, you guys really work on trying to get those done by Monday, this past Monday. So then your very next assignment, lesson 6, will come also due this week, Wednesday. Do you think, I mean, is that going to, that's a lot. Do you think y'all can do it? Or, I mean, you tell me and
I think I can definitely have them done tomorrow. Or it might not be tonight. We've got a PTO meeting after this conference call, but I'll get started tonight and finish tomorrow.
Okay. Jennifer, what about you?
I will work some tonight. Tomorrow I've got interviews all day. I'm having to hire 2 positions. My bus aide and my special ed aide are having to be replaced. And then I've got my son has to go back to the surgeon. The son, while I missed this meeting, who tore his ACL, we have to go back to the surgeon.
Oh, dear.
Get it done by Wednesday night, I would think. So.
Oh, goodness. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. He's an athlete? Or?
Yes, ma'am. He is a 6'4", 230-pound football player, basketball player. So.
Oh, wow.
Little guy, huh?
Yeah.
God is healing him. They had told him, that he would not play this senior year, but the surgeon's getting ready to release him back for basketball. He lost football.
That's
fantastic. There are some schools looking at him in football who are still calling, even though he didn't get to play this year. So.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll keep him in our thoughts and prayers. Yeah, get that going. Okay, so I think moving on through the timeline now, I mean, lesson 6, of course, you'll just, keep right on going through the activities there and the other parts of it. I think there's a PowerPoint there that does go in the assignment area. And
yeah. And then the other one is if you ever see this complete self-assessment, you just click on it and do it in here.
Yep.
Okay. Let me get
so you'll see on the timeline it says capstone ideas submitted to advisors. And so in just a minute, not quite just yet, but we're going to go on over to the other document about the capstone project. But just scanning on down, following on through the timeline, we've got lesson 8 due then in November 1.
Lesson 7 too. Lesson 7, October.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I skipped that. Yeah. Lesson 7 would be October 27th, and then lesson 8. There's another timeline where, and I'm going to go into more detail about this. Here, your actual plan would be due to me, your implementation plan, on Friday, November the 10th. And then we might have some little bit of back and forth. There may be some things to finalize and take a look at with that plan. And then now on lesson 9 comes up Friday, November the 17th, and then lesson 10, Thursday, November the 30th. So that lesson 10 would complete all of the 101 course.
Yay.
Right after Thanksgiving there, we'd be wrapping that up. And then your final capstone proposal and implementation plan with any other, like if you had to get permission from your superintendent to do something, then that would all be due Friday, December the 8th.
All right.
Okay, questions about that? Okay, good deal. Well, let's move on over and talk about this capstone project then. And on our please jump in here anytime. I'm going to try to make sure that I capture, some of Jonette's thoughts and information that she gave us at the meeting. This is really the big deal of it all. And the whole idea is to get a problem of practice, something very individual for your school setting, for you, for your program, and to then go in depth in terms of getting some activities and an action plan, if you will, for yourself. Now, you're in Cohort 6, and we were arranged in cohorts based around those competencies. And you remember that? You all sort of said which one you wanted to focus on?
Yes.
Okay, so competency 6 is make your school a hub of pre-K through 3 learning for families and communities. So you would begin to have your thinking go, okay, what are my main problems? What are my concerns? Or what are my thoughts about how I might be able to enhance my school to have it be more of a hub for families in the community? So that's the very first thing is really just your idea. And that's the first thing that you're going to send to me later this week. Just what is your idea? We've got a document that here's the template that you will begin to fill out. You'll have a title for your project, your name, my name, your actual site location. And then next is your problem of practice, and stated as either a question or a statement. So it's whichever one you are most comfortable with. You'll be stating some goals, objectives for what you're wanting to accomplish, and then give a little bit of background. This theory of action and project approach, the graphic down at the bottom, I think helps us to understand that. So if you think to yourself, okay, and you can help me with this, Honor. So if I provide X, Y, or Z, then X, Y, and Z will learn to, which will then lead to something else.
And that kind of matches up to the different steps you're going through in terms of if, then, like the question or the problem, right?
Right. So again, your problem is related to creating a hub of learning for families and communities. So you think to yourself, okay, if I do this, then maybe not learn to, but the what will happen, the result will happen, and then it will lead to, of course, we know that the end goal is for us to have improved learning for our pre-K through third grade students.
And then they've got some tables to kind of help you build that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this just breaks it down a little bit more. So we know your competency is going to be competency 6. That's what would go in that first box there. And then you will actually describe some of the activities that you want to undertake. And then again, just breaking it down a little further, giving yourself a timeline. What's the outcome? So really, it's what's the result of your activity, and then the benchmarks, and then when it's expected to be completed. So a timeline. So this is not something that happens quickly.
No.
This is the remainder of the year, school year.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's just a table that can help you if you had to, collect, what kind of evidence will be collected, who's going to collect it, the dates, and any actions that you might need to take. And again, here, different kinds of communications that you might need to undertake related to your project. Okay. I see this honor as also a document that might evolve a little bit. As I get into it, I might need to, I'll have as thorough a plan as I can in the very beginning, but I think with projects like this, as I get into them, sometimes, we have to adjust.
Right.
The big idea that I had about this activity just wasn't able to happen, maybe through some unforeseen forces. So I have to adjust and shift and go to maybe a plan B, so to speak.
I remember her saying that, we don't automatically think that you're going to have everything completed by June, by the end of this, time period. It might just be the process for identifying or the process that you went through to go through these steps and actually think it through. How would you communicate? How would you, who should be the players involved? Thinking about, what the problem is, what are some of the solution or, ideas for, benchmarking and identifying the outcomes that you want to have, and then, what steps you have to take. So it's kind of the process that you're going through that you're learning most. Yeah.
And I think, again, process over product, really. We do want a, final outcome, but it's the process of going through. And so that's why, again, the only thing that's due this week on the timeline, it says that
now let me go back.
Your idea.
See, right, capstone ideas. And
just
so
idea. You won't even really necessarily be getting into the template just yet.
Would that be just this, just the top area?
Right, yeah. So, and your idea is, at this point, you may not even have it worded the way it will be in the end. It's your initial thoughts. And the way I'm envisioning is that, I might give you a few questions about it, or I might make some suggestions about either narrowing it down or expanding it a little bit. But right now, it's just that big idea, not detailed.
Mm-hmm.
So you then have from this week really until December the 8th to get this whole template all pulled together.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so
and
the whole proposal is due the 8th, right?
Correct. Yeah. The whole. Yeah. The whole. Yeah. And we didn't quite finish going through all of the template there, so we need to kind of keep going on through there. We got the communications, a budget, and of course that's, just for your purposes. Jeanette said we need to make sure you understand, NAESP and our AIR are not offering any funds for you to use. So it's on you.
Oh, darn.
Oh.
Yeah. So but that's the budget, and then you have the next is the
this is actually this.
Okay. I was going to say, yeah, okay.
I talked to Jeanette about that because it just seems like that is rather confusing. It has all the dates in it, but it's not sequential like that.
Okay.
This is cleaner.
Okay. So again, just another version of your timeline there.
That and then this.
Okay.
Okay. And then let me just see if there's anything else here. Oh, the appendix, key drivers. Yeah, I guess it gives more information on that.
And then I think there's, let's see, there's another.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. That's the last page there.
Okay.
Key drivers. Okay, so questions, concerns, comments?
I think I'm good. I think I understand.
Okay.
And then just to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up, we are working diligently on setting up the course 201 level materials, which will be launched in the new year, December, January. And so there, I guess, help me, Deborah, but I think the thinking was that you'll still be working on this capstone, right?
Right.
But you'll also have a whole new set of lessons just specific to your cohort.
Okay.
So you and your cohort will have a different set of lessons that really deep dive into cohort 1, into competency 1.
Competency 6. We will, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, yeah, that was my understanding, yes, that this will be, yeah, so we got the big picture of all the competencies, if you will, and so now we go in 201, we go more in depth into competency 6. And then the really, I think, really great thing, too, that will happen is our next face-to-face in June will actually be sharing, and will be presentations and time for all of us to, we will share our projects from competency 6, and then others will share their projects. So I think all of the competencies are represented, right, Honor?
Yeah, they are. So it's going to be really kind of fun to see what the problems of practice were in each of the areas, and what people did.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that June meeting will be really good. So as far as just your idea, have you had any thoughts yet on that, or you just want to mull that over a little bit? And really, if you wanted to, just shoot me an email and say, this is what I'm thinking about right now. Or if you want to, now I have my phone number at the bottom of my emails, so that's my cell phone, and if I can, if I'm not in yoga or in the grocery store, I will, or in a school, I still work in schools some, but I'll be glad to, just talk some things through with you.
Mine is, and I actually began a process after getting accepted in this that started, and Wes may already have done this, but our school had never even done screeners coming into kindergarten, what they know and don't know. That's why I chose competency 6. I love this community. This school is the absolute social hub of the community. Unfortunately, it revolves around sports and other things, and I was a collegiate athlete too, I get it. So what I'm trying to do, and it's more than even pre-K 3, is push the academics, but I've got kids coming to me in kindergarten who've never even been set in front of Sesame Street.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're missing those formative years, that 18 months where that gap is already, we read. So that's what I'm trying to, that's where I want to hit, is how can my teachers have been to trainings, we're LTF'd all the way down to 3rd grade, we're gold on this, so I really need help at home, though. If I send home cards, will they go over sight words? Will they, I'm having to talk to parents one-on-one. I've had parents tell me, I don't want to do this reading with them at home. I don't think it's right to time them. And then I have to tell them why. So it's one by one. Even though I've had meetings, we're having to sell these parents. So, okay. Yes.
So, and even broadening up more, so thinking, my mind is going to grandparents and people in the community to
Yes.
even if they don't have very young children, to understand, what it's all about and the importance of pre-K and
Yes.
So yeah, that's, I think, that those are very valuable
It's just
actions.
how to word it. Like I applied for the 21st Century Grant. We didn't get it. So I know I have a lot of the community, my library, my pharmacist, all that's willing to come do like study nights and things like that. So I'm trying to wrap in my brain how to wrap that around sports, because we are very involved in, because, we're very good in sports. We are. So I'm trying to figure out how to get it to the little ones. Like you said, do I send home newsletters? Will it make it? That's where my brain is will they help me? I need help. We need help at home.
Right. Well, one of my favorite thoughts for problem solving is, okay, let's not think about either or, let's think about and. So I'm thinking, okay, how can you use that power of and as far as your sports events go? That's when the community's coming in. Can you begin to set up table, information booth, maybe some even gimmicky little marketing kinds of things, somebody walking around, ask me about, those kinds of
I like that.
ideas to, actually use that athletic forum. You've got all the folks are there. Folks have to take a break and go down to the snack bar. Let's see if we can
I might set up like some of my high school tutors that we send over to the elementary school, maybe because like baseball has all these picnic tables, have them sitting there during baseball games or something.
Yeah, and have that information available and have some printed matter and just someone there to spread the word, really. Talk, the power of conversation.
Okay.
So anyway, we'll talk more. That's great. What about you, Wesley?
Well, I'm just sitting here thinking about what we've kind of already started to do this year. We've kind of increased our presence on social media. We just 2 weeks ago, we did a Facebook Live video with like a round table of teachers and kind of answered questions about homework and things like that. However, the thing I'm seeing is I'm not, like, we're reaching just a small portion of people. Now, of course, we have a lot of poverty in Leeds, so we don't have, technology is not evident in every home, or a lot of homes, rather. However, I want to reach people before they even think about school. I know, like, for myself, my wife and I, our little girl's in kindergarten. This is her first year of school. She didn't go to pre-K. However, until she was 3 or 4, even 4, we didn't even think about preschool. We didn't even, I wasn't even concerned with school. And so I want to start reaching out to families who are like young children families that aren't really thinking about school yet, and show what kind of things we're doing around here, because we've got a really good school and we're really making some headway in positive directions. So I just kind of want to reach out, and that's kind of where my mind's going, is trying to reach younger children. And then I don't know about. I want something for our parents too. I don't want to leave our folks out that are already here, so.
Right.
I don't know about, we just, this year we've started our 5th OSR pre-K.
Wow.
So
You've got 5?
Right now I have 6 pre-K classes. I have 5 OSR and I have 1 that's funded by IDEA.
So it's matching exceptional and non-exceptional.
Yeah, yes it is. And so our deal now is we only have about 10 people on our waiting list, whereas in the past we've had 30. And
wow.
Because we have so many classes, the biggest problem for us, and I don't know if this is the problem with like Jennifer, I don't know if she has this issue being out in Raglan, but we have a lot of people who come to our school who will not be with us in kindergarten. So we accept pre-K children from anywhere. So I'll have kids from Trussville.
So across they're not even in your district, and they come to your preschool?
That's right. They're not in my district at all.
You can be that state level. This is the first year where all 18 of my pre-K seats they will all go to my elementary, my kindergarten. Last year, I think we got like 12 of the 18. So,
I lost about 20 last year. So out of 4 classes last year, so, 4 times 18, 72, whatever, I lost about 20. So I only have about 50 to 55 kids that came back to us for kindergarten, which is, I mean, I'm all about, educating anybody that comes to the door, anything like that. But I sure do feel like it's a waste of time when we lose them. I hate losing them. I wish they could stay.
Well, they must be relatively nearby districts, or right? Or some private schools, or do they go to private? Do you have private schools?
Not really. I mean, sometimes, like there's a little church I say little church, it's a church in Moody that has several of our kids sometimes. But really, we're getting Birmingham City folks. So we're getting a lot of spillover from Birmingham City, and then they end up leaving us, or they end up trying to enroll here, and we have to bust them on residency. And it's just not a good experience.
Yeah, grandmama lives there, right, and not them.
Yeah.
There's not enough pre-K seats around the state, so some of these parents, I had some driving from Springville and stuff to get a seat in pre-K.
Yeah.
That's the problem, like what he said, and then you lose 20 of them. You invest, and like I said, you're going to do what's best for a kid, but it sure would help me if it was, I could get all seats to Raglan, Raglan specific.
Well, and that's kind of where my thinking is. So my thinking is, if I can reach out to all these, even neighboring places that are like borderline Leeds, like if they want to move to Leeds, if I can convince them to move over here and be thinking about our school, if I can get them signed up, I just feel like if I can get the majority of Leeds people in there, like increase that percentage of people who are actually Leeds district kids, that would be awesome.
Then your seats are, I assume y'all are aware that, Deborah, and all that, your seats are, your name's going to hat, and the first 18 names out get it. And all 18 of my seats could have gone to Wes's students. And so it's a luck of the draw. I have people literally lined up out here waiting.
Yeah, me too.
This year we've got all of them.
I just want more Leeds names in that hat, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I got you. Which means, again, I do see this a little bit, it's a bit of a marketing challenge, getting the word out and
well, that's kind of why we have increased our social media. Was non-existent for this school prior to my arrival. And it's not nothing about me. I'm just saying I've kind of pushed the envelope around here.
Well, maybe not everybody has a laptop or a desktop at home, but almost everybody's got a cell phone these days.
Everybody's got a Facebook. Every redneck in Alabama's got a Facebook.
Right. Well, listen, Wesley, I will be talking to you more because one of the cohort members, Angela Bush from Madison City, and I'm going to her site here pretty soon because it's close to where I live. But she uses social media, and that district uses it a lot. So she was sharing with me there's some kind of app that she uses, and I've got to go and learn more about it. But I'll be talking to you about that too.
Please do.
And it's how they share. They literally share, what happened in school today in the pre-K classroom. They take little snippets of the kids and then
that's what we've been doing. We just take pictures of anything and everything. It could be the smallest thing, but I take a picture.
But she mentioned some app, so I'll learn more about that.
Okay, great.
Could I also just mention in the just since you were talking about contacting, in the LMS system, under Communication Center, you can actually look people up.
Okay.
Angela Bush. You clicked on her, you could actually send a little thing to her.
Oh, okay. Angela Bush. I'm gonna write it. I mean, I know she's in our cohort, so I could.
Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, I just thought. I mean.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's good. It's good to know you have access to everybody's email through that communication center.
She also submitted something under lesson 4, so I mean, I don't.
Okay.
Okay. Well, any other questions or anything you want to? Anything else? We're all clear now on our.
I think so. I appreciate you doing this makeup session for us. I really do.
Well, yeah, I know you said you were on the way there that day and you had an emergency. I'm sorry.
I was about 40 minutes in the drive, and we had an issue with some personnel here. I had to come back and deal with the fun stuff.
Oh yeah. So, well, I'll just look to see your postings on the website, and then other than that, you can shoot me an email with formally pin down that idea and maybe start taking a stab at putting it into the language of a problem of practice, either a question or a statement.